The memories are crystal clear. The horrors of what happened behind this door, too painful to just let go.
They took him down for a whipping, but he never come back to our college.
Those memories are what connect these complete strangers together. 2 days ago, those strangers came from around the country to meet face to face for the first time.
You're only less than a minute or two from me right then.
It's a day they've been waiting more than 50 years for, a day to just let go.
I've sort of written this out, so hopefully I can do this without getting too emotional. I'm not sure if this is a happy gathering or a sad gathering.
It's a good one.
Hopefully it'll be a healing experience for all of us.
And I thought about each one of the stories that I had read.
They call themselves the White House Boys, a group of boys who in the 1950s and 60s were sent to the Florida Reform School for Boys in Marianna.
And I'm an electrical contractor now in Baltimore, Maryland. And I was in Marianna from 57 to 59.
October 11, 66 to February 24th, 1967.
I was there from 56, 57 to get out of there. It took me that long, 17 months. But boy, when I got out, was I ready. First thing I done, pulled an armed robbery in Miami.
I spent 10 months, 6 days, and 1 hour in hell. My name is Don Stratford. This is tough. This is tough.
Hang on, brother.
You can do it.
These men all have one thing in common. They say while at the school, they made a trip to a little white building called the White House. What happened here is unimaginable.
Went down 8 times. 5 of those 8 times were well over 100 lashes each.
I went down 6 times myself, and I refused to go over and hold boys down. I refused to do that, and I got written up for it many times.
I went down 15 times.
I went to the White House 1 time. Highest I could count was 5. But it's the damn beatingest thing I ever had in my life, and my dad took a fan belt from me several times.
Well, little did I know that there was a hell called Marianna.
156 men have come forward since we first told you the White House Boys story 4 months ago. 60 of them are part of this reunion. They will tell you that school they simply call Marianna has affected their lives in more ways than one.
For many years, my life spiraled out of control. One marriage after another was the course my life would take. Then there was one job after another, and another, and another, and another.
I never spoke a single word to anybody about this out of pure fear. I've been married 41 years to the same woman, and I never even spoke one word of this to my wife of 41 years. And when this broke in the papers back in October, I broke down and I cried like a baby, and I told my wife the story.
The child's mother loves her child.
It's a story that you can still see the effects from years later.
But as it pertains to you...
Henry Williams is from Jacksonville. He was in and out of prison after he left the school in 1956.
I want to come in today, separated. I held back so long, and it gave me an opportunity to get a chance to say what I've been wanting to say, didn't know how to say it. It was like a release to me.
Been married 5 times.
And then there is Frank Marks from Lake City. He was in Marianna in 1959.
Beat me until I passed out. I woke up in the hospital with 18 stitches and 3 days in the hospital.
Marks made 3 trips to the White House. The toll it took is clear.
And I've been married 5 times, and I apologize each and every one of them for my wrongdoings and my anger and the blunt beatings that they took from my sickness, I guess you say. And I made peace with all of them.
One by one, these men share what they saw and experienced.
And they would bring them down in cattle trucks from the black side.
Yeah.
They would bring them down in cattle. They would march the white boys down there, but they brought the black boys down in cattle trucks. 8, 10, 12 at a time.
They say some of those boys never made it out alive.
That he took him screaming from the kitchen straight to the White House.
And we was all scared. We went to the window and I watched. And 10 minutes come out. And Mr. Enfield come out just like this right here, wiping the blood off his face. The little boy never come out of there. They carried him out. They beat him to death. They killed him.
They believe those boys are buried in one of these unmarked graves on the school's property. The state doesn't even know who is buried out here.
I know that every one of these men, myself included, we always wondered, maybe it was just me. Maybe I was the one that couldn't take the beating. Maybe I was the only one who was afraid. Maybe I was the only one who who couldn't tell their wives that they loved them or tell their children that they loved them or hug them. The White House torture chamber did the same thing to every one of these men.
He was dared.
The reunion is part of their healing, to not only share, but also to say thank you.
I'm talking about the heroes in this story are the women that are here today, that stood by and tried to love the men and the kids that nobody else wanted. And ladies, today we honor you.
Even though it is hard, they choose to relive that pain over and over again for one simple reason.
Never again. Simply never again. Let's don't let this happen to children. Never again.